In ancient times, nestled deep within the towering mountains of Nole, lived a nimble and short-statured people known as the Keen. For generations, their survival depended on a unique skill, hunting the strange beasts that roosted on the high cliffs. Unable to scale those treacherous heights, the Keen relied on their rifles and bows, taking aim from a distance and retrieving their fallen prey from the mountain slopes. Among these skilled marksmen, there was a young hunter named Kardel Sharpeye, who would later earn the legendary title of Sniper. It is said that from childhood, his eyes were as sharp as a soaring hawk's, and his rifle became an extension of his very being. He was the grandson of one of the Keen's most renowned sharpshooters, Sharpeye, a marksman of such skill that legend claimed he could shoot the toe of a giant troll from 1,000 paces away. When Bragg passed away, his ancient rifle was passed down to Kardel, as if fate itself had laid out a path of greatness before him. For years, Kardel trained under the elders of his tribe, honing his marksmanship to such perfection that no living creature could escape his precise shots. Each time he pulled the trigger, a bullet like a blazing star burst forth from his rifle's barrel and struck its target without fail. The village elders would say, "For Kardel, shooting is as effortless as touch," for his weapon was nothing less than an extension of his own hand. As he grew older and reached the time of his great trial, the village elders selected him for the ancient test of the sharpshooters. According to the old traditions, every young marksman had to prove their worth by completing a sacred challenge. On a designated day, they would stand at the bottom of the valley and, with a single bullet, strike down one of the cliff-dwelling beasts known as the Abyss Predators from the mountain's peak. To miss the shot meant eternal disgrace, while success would grant them an honored place among their people. At the break of that fateful day, Kardel Sharpeye stood at the valley's floor. The cold mountain breeze stung his face, yet his hands, gripping his grandfather's ancient rifle, did not tremble. High above, atop the mist-shrouded cliffs, the faint shadow of an abyss predator stirred. The entire village watched in heavy silence, every heart pounded in anticipation, and every gaze was locked onto Kardel. Kardel held his breath, his sharp eyes fixed on the target through the scope of his old rifle. In a single, fleeting moment, the wind stilled, and the beast paused in place. He pulled the trigger. The thunderous roar of the rifle echoed through the mountains as a single bullet shot forth, like a blazing meteor toward the peak. For a few seconds, nothing could be seen, until suddenly, the beast's lifeless body was torn from the cliff's edge and plunged into the depths of the valley below. A roar of joy and admiration erupted from the throats of the Keen folk. Kardel had struck his target. With a single shot, he had etched his masterpiece into legend. However, fate had a strange twist in store for him. The village elders descended into the valley to examine the beast's remains up close. As they neared, they saw that Kardel's bullet had pierced straight through the predator's eye, blinding it instantly. But what truly astonished them was what happened next. The bullet, having lost its momentum after passing through the eye, had fallen and become lodged between the creature's fangs, as if the beast itself had bitten down on fate's final strike before meeting its end. This eerie sight sent a shiver of fear through the elders. According to the ancient legends of the Keen, if the piercing eye is shattered by a bullet, it is both an ominous sign and a mark of great destiny. Whispers spread among the gathered crowd as the eldest sage of the tribe stepped forward, placing a solemn hand on Kardel's shoulder. His face bore no gleam of victory, only sorrow reflected in his weary eyes. In a hushed voice, meant only for Kardel to hear, he murmured,
This shot has opened the gate to a dark fate. According to the ancient prophecy, the marksman who fires such a bullet will achieve greatness, but will also be cast out from his own.
At first, Kardel did not grasp the meaning of these words, but it did not take long for the truth to unfold. Despite his unmatched skill, he no longer had a place among his people. Kardel set out on his journey, a path with no return, leading him into a vast world full of the unknown. Having spent his entire life in the frigid peaks of the mountains, he now stepped into the lowlands, where sprawling plains and dense forests stretched beyond the horizon. Before long, tales of a cold-blooded sharpshooter from the short-statured folk spread far and wide. At first, Kardel used his skills merely to survive, offering his marksmanship to the people of remote villages in exchange for sustenance and shelter. Wherever a beast terrorized the people or bandits lay in wait for passing caravans, Kardel would take position from the farthest vantage point he could find. With a single precise shot, he would eliminate the threat before it could strike. The people, having never witnessed such marksmanship before, often exaggerated his feats, claiming that his bullets never missed their mark. Before long, the name Sharpeye became widely known. Those unaware of his small stature and modest appearance spread wild rumors that a giant sniper with a mystical third eye watched over the innocent, striking down threats from the shadows. But Kardel was not a man driven by fame or fortune. Deep within his heart, only one fire burned, the longing for home and the desire to prove his worth to fate. Each time he cleaned his rifle in the stillness of night after a battle, his eyes would drift toward the distant mountain stars. Under his breath, he would swear a quiet oath. He would not stop fighting until his name was immortalized.